Awesome. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. I would love to know a little bit more about your business, what it is that you do. So if you want to put that in the chat and where in the world you're joining from, that would be awesome. And we may all be at different points on our path, but the desire is the same, to grow, to be seen, to make a real impact without losing ourselves in the process of growing our business. But what if we could take it a step further and we could thrive in our business and in our personal life? Isn't that really the goal? So I want you to know this is a safe space. You don't have to have it all figured out. You can just pat yourself on the back for showing up. And today is more than learning. It's really about remembering who you truly are and why you're here. So I'm so excited to dive into this topic. And I want you to listen to what I'm sharing with more than just your mind, with your whole being. So let what I'm saying sink into your body. Let me know how long you've been in business and let me know if there's anyone that's just in the dreaming stage, because that is also a phase of growing a business where we want to, but we haven't quite launched yet. And I want you to know that you being here means something, not just to me, but to your journey, your business, your life, your growth, and your next chapter. So before we dive in, let's take a moment to land. You're in the right place. Take a deep breath and just arrive. So let me just share my screen with you. And if you could just put a 1 in the chat and let me know that you can see my screen, that would be super. All right, just checking in on some of these notes. Want to start a coaching business, tried a few things, but nothing's worked so far. On and off for 2 or 3 years. Perfect, perfect. Because you're here, this can make your life so much easier. All right, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and jump in. So we're about to shift what is possible for you, how you see yourself, and how you feel about being truly seen. So this may be one of the most important 90 minutes of your growth journey, and not because of me, but because of what you might reclaim within yourself today. So please eliminate distractions, grab your journal, give yourself the gift of presence. And even if you came just to gather information, just to check this out, I invite you to lean in. Get curious, be open to the possibility of a breakthrough and a glimpse of what's really possible for you. So let's start by calming, grounding. We're going to come into polarity. I'm going to show you a quick exercise called collarbone breathing, and I do like to begin with this. Um, Perfect. I like to begin with this because this is going to ground us. It's going to bring our energy into the proper flow. If your nervous system is in fight or flight, it's going to calm that. It's going to calm you emotionally. So as I walk you through this, just notice how you feel as we go through it. So let's start with your right hand. Just hold it up and then bring your left hand to the groove in between the ring finger and the pinky finger. This is a healing spot. We're just going to hold this. And then touch your right fingers to your right collarbone. Perfect. And now the breathing is always going to be the same. We're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Take a deep breath in. Full breath, pause and hold. Exhale halfway. Pause and hold. Exhale completely. Pause and hold. Inhale halfway. Pause and hold. And breathe normally. And we're just going to switch those fingers over to the left side. So just touching your left collarbone. Everything else stays the same. So we started on the right. Now the fingertips go to the left. We're on the, okay, perfect. Take a deep breath in. Pause and hold. Exhale halfway. Pause and hold. Exhale completely. Pause and hold. Inhale halfway. Pause and hold and breathe normally. Now the only thing we're going to change is bend the fingers. Let's take the right knuckles to the right collarbone. And we keep the fingers on the back. Yep. Take a deep breath in. Full breath, pause and hold. Exhale halfway. Pause and hold. Exhale completely. Pause and hold. Inhale halfway. Pause and hold. And now breathe normally. Taking the right knuckles over to the left side, take a deep breath in through your nose. Full breath, pause and hold. Exhale halfway. Pause and hold. Exhale completely. Pause and hold. Inhale halfway. Pause and hold and breathe normally. This is about the time I start to feel the shifting, the calming, the grounding, and we're halfway through, so we're going to switch hands. So hold your left hand up. Your right hand, index finger and middle finger come to the back of the left hand in between the pinky and the ring finger, and your left fingertips touch your left collarbone. Now we're going to go back to that breath. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Full breath, pause and hold. Exhale halfway. Pause and hold. Exhale completely. Pause and hold. Inhale halfway. Pause and hold and breathe normally. We're going to take those fingertips over to the right side. Take a deep breath in. Pause and hold. Exhale halfway. Pause and hold. Exhale completely. Pause and hold. Inhale halfway. Pause and hold and breathe normally. Now we're going to bend the fingers and use the knuckles. Left knuckles touch the left collarbone. Take a deep breath in. Pause and hold. Exhale halfway. Pause and hold. Exhale completely. Pause and hold. Inhale halfway. Pause and hold and breathe normally. Take your left knuckles over to the right side. Take a deep breath in. Pause and hold. Exhale halfway. Pause and hold. Exhale completely. Pause and hold. Inhale halfway. Pause and hold and breathe normally. So just take a moment. Notice how you feel. If you want to put in the chat a word or two, let me know how you feel. I do like to begin the presentation this way because it brings us into polarity. It calms everything. It makes you more receptive to the energy and to the information that I'm about to share with you. So I do want to set an intention for ourselves, a powerful intention. And it is to call, I'm going to call in your higher self. So if you're listening live or on the replay, there's a higher aspect of you that's guiding you through this lifetime. And I'm calling in my higher self in the universe and your guardian angels, spirit guides, masters, so that you get exactly what you need today. Perfect. So let's go ahead and get started. So I know that each and every one of you have something very valuable to offer. You're here to make a difference in the world, to spread your light, to make an impact. And I want to help you step into that. So I'm talking about living in alignment with your higher purpose. And I believe that our souls made the decision to come into this life. I believe that we choose our family and many of the earthly experiences that we've had. There is a bigger plan for us, and I believe it's one that we agreed to before we came here. And you may be thinking, why? Why would I choose some of these experiences? Some of you might be thinking, why would I choose my family? But let me tell you a little bit about myself and my journey and how it brought me here. And I can tell you that your experiences in your life have brought you to exactly where you are. And mine have led me to my purpose. And I believe that we all have a kind of a core wound. It's a deep pattern that continues to pop up in our life. And when we overcome this deep wound and pattern, is when we uncover our true purpose. So I grew up in a family, a small farm, the fifth of six children. I was in a very big family. I'm not going to go into all the details, but I grew up feeling alone, not wanted, not valued, unworthy of love, and I began to live in fear. That is how I functioned. And you can think about that as being in the state of fight or flight. And that's where many of us find ourselves, especially at this time in the Earth's existence. There's so much fear. And as a child living in fear, I was trying so desperately to be wanted, to be valued. And I started to become what other people wanted me to be, or what I thought I was supposed to be, or what I thought they wanted me to be. And I completely lost a sense of who I truly am at a very young age. So I went through most of my life feeling not enough, unhappy, unwanted, and really feeling lost. And all of those same feelings I had from childhood continued through my life, and that became my reality. What I didn't realize was that I was living as a victim of circumstances. I was living disempowered, and I didn't realize that I could change all of this. So fast forward to 2014, when I got the news that a mother never wants to hear. I found out that my then 18-year-old daughter had an eating disorder. And so I was crushed. I was immediately guilt-ridden for questioning what had I taught her about her worth, her body image, food, and that's what launched me on my healing journey. And in the process of healing my false sense of self, which is all those beliefs I carried from childhood, all of those feelings, those are absolutely not my truth, but I held those beliefs. And in the process of healing that the shadow side of myself, I started to reveal my true self. I started to love and accept myself. In the process, my purpose was revealed. My worthiness, my value was uncovered. And many of you may know what my purpose is. You may guess what my purpose is, but my purpose is really helping the impact makers, light workers, the people that are here to help shift the world. I'm here to help them uncover their true sense of self, their purpose, their value, their fulfillment, the abundance and the joy so they can step into their purpose and move forward. So the reason we're talking about visibility today is because visibility brings out these fears. So this is a really good place for us to begin to break through these invisible barriers that are keeping us small. And the fears that are holding you back could be fears from your past experiences that you don't want to relive or you don't want to have happen again. And it's also often it's the fear of the future, which is what anxiety is. It's worrying about what's going to happen if I do this and going through all of those scenarios. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go back in and share my screen, and I'm going to walk you kind of through um, this information here. So let's take a look at the levels of visibility and kind of the way I see it. I see it as three different levels. Um, so we're just going to do a little check-in. There's absolutely no shame here. This is just awareness. So the three levels of visibility, and I'm guessing if you're here, you fall into either level one or level two. But if you are totally avoiding visibility and staying behind the scenes, and often this happens in the failure to launch, as I mentioned at the beginning, people that I had a client I worked with last year. She was in the failure to launch for 5 years until we worked together and we could get rid of these invisible barriers. And now her business is up and running, and she immediately jumped into action once these invisible walls were removed. So that's the first level. And the second level is you can show up sometimes, but it takes a lot of effort. You don't like it, and you keep pushing it to the bottom of your priority list. So it doesn't happen like it should be happening. I don't even want to use the word should. Um, but it doesn't happen natural and effortlessly, which is what level three is. And that's where we want to be, is showing up effortlessly, being excited to share your message and connect with your dream clients. And in this level, you know who you are. You're comfortable with who you are. You're confident in who you are. You know why you're here. And you don't worry about what other people think. You are focused on attracting your ideal clients. So wherever you are, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. Avoiding visibility isn't a strategy issue, meaning it's not an external fix. It's a fear issue. So you're either being affected by your past or you're afraid of the future and what will happen when you show up. And that's what we're here to start shifting today. So by the end of this session, you'll have a clear framework of how to progress to level three. And if you feel called to go deeper and receive more support, I'll show you what the next steps look like. So let's dive in. When authenticity becomes your business strategy, everything changes. So when you're not in fear and you're connected with your authentic self, you're not forcing content, you're not chasing clients. You're showing up from a place of truth, and that energy is magnetic. So imagine a life where visibility feels natural, where showing up and sharing your message feels like freedom, not pressure, where showing up as you attracts the clients you're meant to serve, where you no longer second guess your words or shrink back from opportunities. How would that change your business? How would that change your life? What would become possible if your energy matched the impact you're here to make? And how would it feel to finally stop hiding and be seen, appreciated, and valued? So drop a couple words in the chat. Let me know, what would that mean to you? What would that do for you? And let's hold that vision as our compass today. So let's be clear. Strategy, it does matter. But if you're not showing up fully, or you're not in alignment, or your strategy isn't in alignment, even the best strategies won't work to attract your dream clients. So I want you to hear this. Your audience doesn't need perfection. They need connection. I'm going to repeat that because I really want you to let that sink in. Your audience doesn't need perfection. Your dream clients do not need perfection. They need connection. And connection only happens when you are aligned with your truth. You are the magic. And when your presence matches your purpose, you become magnetic. So today we're going to uncover why visibility feels so hard, and more importantly, how we can change it and start moving forward into visibility. You're not lazy, you are not unmotivated. You care deeply. You want to make a difference. You want to help others. You want to make an impact. And I'm guessing most of you already know you have something significant or a value to offer. Am I right? So give me a one in the chat if you already know you have something of value to offer. And what's holding you back? Perfect. There's many things that can be holding us back. Fear of judgment, perfectionism, self-doubt, fear of being too much, fear of not being enough, fear of failure, fear of success. Are past wounds or trauma keeping you in survival mode? So none of these things are personal flaws. These are protective patterns. They are invisible walls that are holding you back, patterns that were created long ago that once helped to keep you safe. And now they're holding you back from showing up authentically and connecting with your dream clients. Perfect. So here's the good news. The good news is that these patterns can be gently rewired. And let me tell you, when you're carrying these invisible walls, sometimes it is hard to connect with our purpose. Sometimes it is hard to connect with our value. Sometimes it is hard to connect with the how we want to deliver something. It's how to get the message out there. But that's the invisible walls. Once we start removing, dismantling the invisible walls, and we have that authentic connection, that's where the intuition comes in, the guidance comes in, the nudges come in. Okay, so it all starts with taking these walls down. And again, it's where visibility really emphasizes these things. So in the fears, releasing the resistance, then we can tap into our truth and our way to do business. So in the the group that I lead and the clients that I work with, that's very important that each one of those entrepreneurs finds the way, authentic way to share what they do. So definitely not a cookie cutter method of doing business. We all have a slightly different way and approach to reaching our ideal clients. But most people don't realize that these patterns can be gently rewired and it can be done really fast and it can be easy. And that's where I come in. This is my gift. And that's what you're going to get a taste of today. So stick around. We're actually going to go through and release some of the inner resistance. So give me a yes if you're excited about that. One thing I didn't mention in the beginning when I was introducing myself, over the 10 years of experience that I've had on my healing journey, I have dug deep into inner healing. And so I have learned an energy healing with a spiritual essence to it. I have studied rapid transformational therapy, which is a form of hypnotherapy, which focuses on how the mind works, the inner child, how the self-esteem is shaped. And then I also, the last piece was the nervous system. So I have all of these tools, and I think they're all really important because it's the spiritual connection to our higher self, to our soul's purpose, to the universe, to allow that support and wisdom to flow through us. It's in that connection that our purpose and fulfilling that purpose then becomes easy. So I'm excited to get into a little more of reconnecting you with that and releasing some of the false sense of self. So what I really want to dive into, so we've talked about some of the resistance, but now I want to talk about the client attraction formula. So you absolutely were born with value. That value is still inside of you. You have purpose. You came here to make a difference. And that knowing, that innate wisdom and value, it's still there inside of you. Even if it's buried under years of doubt, perhaps trauma, protective patterns. And today we're going to uncover why visibility has felt hard and give you a path forward that aligns with who you truly are. So we're going to be covering these 3 steps, and it's important to address these 3 steps so you can feel safe being seen. So you show up and own your unique brilliance. So you can show up and speak with authenticity and magnetism. So we're going to cover how inner healing, not more pushing, is the key to connecting with your truth, with your authentic self, and with your authentic confidence. So I've been sprinkling that throughout and letting you know how that true self gets suppressed and how we can tap into it and embody our truth. So for now, take a deep breath, stay curious. You might be closer to your next breakthrough than you realize. So let's move into the authentic confidence. So there's what you think you know about yourself, and then there's what's quietly running beneath the surface. And that can often be experienced as self-sabotage. So when there is something preventing us from our intention, that's what I call inner resistance. Because we're powerful beings. If we decide we want to do something, we actually can manifest and create it almost instantly. So if things aren't happening, there's something quietly running beneath the surface that's preventing us from doing that. So picture your self-image like these two circles. The outer circle is your conscious awareness. So that's what you're doing on the surface level. It's what you're trying to figure out with your mind. It's what you know, it's what you understand. And the inner circle are the hidden layers. It's the energy that is affecting your self-image, your belief in yourself, the way you show up in your business and in your life. So that inner space holds the emotional imprints, subconscious beliefs, nervous system conditioning, false sense of self that was shaped by past experiences. And this is primarily from the first 7 years of your life, but it also includes generational patterning that's in your DNA. It's called epigenetics. Your cells hold memories from your ancestors. There's also collective consciousness, what we learn. Even when we come into the human body, there's collective consciousness and what we think is right or wrong and what we're taught in school. So that's a big influence. And yes, there are past life experiences that are affecting us and how we show up. And there could be other traumatic events that happened at different times during your life that have an impact on your energy and how you're showing up. So you could be carrying programs like I'm too much, it's not safe to get attention, I have to earn love or prove my worth. But you didn't choose these beliefs. And deep down, if you check in deep down, you know they're not even true. But your body still reacts like they are. You came into this world whole, worthy, expressive, unapologetically you. When you were hungry, tired, or overwhelmed, you cried. You didn't care if it was 2 a.m. You didn't care if you woke someone up. You didn't care if it was in the middle of a church service. You expressed yourself. You knew your needs mattered. But over time, there's conditioning. Maybe you learned to quiet your voice. Maybe you learned to cope with things from childhood, to please others, to be the good girl, to stay safe. And that authentic self, it didn't disappear. She just got covered up. And now, every time you release one of those old protections, every time you choose to meet your own needs with compassion, you reclaim a little more of your power and you unlock more of your energy. You remember who you are. And that's when you become magnetic, not because you're doing more, but because you're finally being you. And the best part is you don't have to relive anything to heal it. Today, I'm going to walk you through a process that works with your nervous system gently, intuitively, and effectively. And if you want to learn this method, it's something that I train and certify practitioners in. It's something that I teach all of my clients when they go through my 90-day intensive because I think it's really important. As we grow to have a tool that's easy to use on ourselves, as entrepreneurs, we're always in this growth mode. So we want to lean into and embrace the growth and who we're becoming. But for now, just know that you're not broken. You are not too sensitive. You're simply carrying some old stories that were never yours to begin with. So it is time to let them go. So the first step in attracting your ideal clients isn't strategy. It's how you see yourself. It's how you feel about being visible. Confidence is not about being loud or overbearing. It's about feeling safe and showing up to share your message without hesitation, proving, or performing. So I want you to reflect now and just ask yourself, how do I feel about myself? How do I feel about being seen? And I want you to just focus from the neck down because your body holds the answers. So tune into that for a moment and notice what you're feeling in your body. Now imagine being fully visible. Picture yourself standing on a stage. Imagine 10 people, 20 people, 100 people in the audience. Does that change how you feel? Imagine going live on social media, YouTube or Facebook. What emotions come up? And feel free to drop them in the chat. No filter. Again, no shame. You might notice fear, embarrassment, pressure. You might even feel shame. These emotions have a lower energetic frequency. They feel heavy, dense, and constricting. So now contrast that with emotions like joy, love, peace. What your body naturally emits when you feel safe and aligned and connected. Low frequency emotions literally cause you to contract. Fear causes you to contract. And in that contraction, we're disconnected from ourselves. We're pulling away. The higher frequency emotions cause you to expand. And you can't be contracted and expanded at the same time. So you might feel excitement and thrilled and joy and feel that coming, but then do you feel the fear coming and what's happening to your energy? So your feelings and your energy matter. They matter more than strategy. This is the most important part about you showing up is your energy. Visibility blocks aren't mindset issues. They are protective responses that are wired into your nervous system, but they can be released. And that's what we'll be doing here in just a bit, because when it feels safe to be seen, your confidence rises naturally. You don't have to push anything, you don't have to force it. And if you resonate with this rapid way of healing, we'll be talking about that at the end, and you'll have an opportunity to dive deeper. So let's talk about your signature strengths. And I love this is one of my favorite things to help clients see. Your dream clients aren't looking for someone who has it all together. They're not looking for someone that's perfect. They're looking for you, the real you, grounded, wise, relatable. So what makes you unique and magical? And if you haven't already done this, this is something I take a screenshot and I encourage you to take some time and really reflect over your lifetime. What are your natural gifts? And sometimes those natural gifts are shut down early in childhood. What are your learned skills? What are the life experiences that you've had that makes you an expert on that subject? Like being adopted, going through a divorce, losing your job, starting your own business. Your life experiences matter, your learned skills, your passions. What are your interests? What have you dug into on your own and become an expert about? Or what just lights you up and brings you joy? Those are all signs of what make you unique. And then there's your own personal growth and transformation that you've experienced. So all of this together, once you start looking at all of these pieces, then you can kind of find your unique magic. And I'm going to show you on the next screen an example of that. But when you speak from this place of truth and alignment, people recognize it. They lean in, they trust you. So let me share a quick personal example about a natural gift that was suppressed for me as a child. One of my gifts has always been to be deeply curious. I want to know why. And as a child, I was often seen as too much. I asked too many questions. I was shushed. It was annoying. And so I learned not to ask those questions, and I felt like I was too much. But it wasn't until much later, decades later in life, that I discovered it was actually a gift. This curiosity originally led me to explore healing work because I knew that the traditional medical route wasn't going to help my daughter. That wasn't the right solution. So I got curious and I stayed curious for years to keep learning, to understand. And now I can guide others with clarity and compassion. But being curious makes me a very powerful healer because I'm always asking why a person believes this, why they think that way, why things are the way that they are, why certain patterns repeat, why something doesn't feel aligned. So what was once too much for me, I came to understand is one of my greatest gifts. So what about you? Was there something about you that was misunderstood, but is actually a part of your unique magic? I think sometimes we try so hard as children to fit in. We think that those things that make us unique and special are bad. So I encourage you to take some time and reflect on all of these areas. And if something is coming to mind, feel free to drop that in the chat. I would absolutely love to hear if you've had an insight on this. But I want you to take this next part in. This is really important. You already have everything that you need. You don't need to be like anyone else. You just need to become more you and let that sink in. Oh, I love the comments coming in. Yeah. So knowing things happened before they did. Yeah. I've heard that from a lot of clients, and that freaked the adults out. And so a lot of people shut that intuition out. Lean into that. That's who you are. And healing the inner child and reclaiming and bringing those parts back is a beautiful part of the work that I do. Okay, so as I said, using an example, because when you see how your strengths come together, it gets easier to name your own unique magic. So for me, and this is just the highlights, like I spent hours when I first did this, and I've done it multiple times because you forget. Plus, I think as women, we also discredit the things that come easy to us because there is this belief in the world that things that are important, we need to work hard to achieve them. So let's let go of that belief because when we tune into this truth about ourselves, we actually can create and receive with ease. So my natural gifts, intuition, curiosity, asking the questions, and then the trainings that I have taken. So it started with yoga teacher training, then it went into theta healing. I don't even have crystal healing on here. I went through two different schools, the silent counseling, hypnotherapy. These are all things I took a deep dive into. And in the process, I learned how to teach. So I became a teacher in multiple modalities I was a yoga teacher for many years as well. My experience as an entrepreneur, I became an entrepreneur. I started that process in 2010. I was a multiple brick and mortar franchise owner before becoming an online business creator. So I've got lots of years of experience as an entrepreneur and I understand what it takes and the inner growth and also the inner resistance that holds people back. So the fast track, work on the inner resistance first and then use your intuition and your inner guidance to find your path. Much easier, much shorter path than I took, but I learned a lot along the way. And then through that, there's a decade I had of personal growth and healing around self-worth, self-love, my relationship with money, my relationships, period, my connection with who I am and my higher self. So bringing that all together, the connection to our true self, to our higher self, and the spiritual connection, put that together with being an entrepreneur and inner healing, and that's where I shine. So I encourage you, take some time, take a screenshot, dig into this, and really uncover your unique brilliance because everything that you've been through has shaped you for this moment. So what makes you magnetic, right? These aren't just strengths. They are also breadcrumbs that lead your dream clients to you. This is what makes your voice authentic. This is what makes your story matter. And when you share from this place, you will attract the right clients to you. You won't need to force anything. You definitely should not be creating messaging from your head. You are the message, and the message should definitely come from your heart. And that's what we're going to explore. Um, More of your energy, and then the words will just come through. And it's your energy behind the words that resonate with the people that you're here to help. Once you've embraced your authentic self and your authentic confidence, so that's step number one, right? This is a three-step process. Once you've embraced your authentic self and really tapped into your authentic confidence and claimed your unique brilliance, your messaging becomes almost effortless. You won't need a rigid formula. You just need to be real. Speak from your heart. You share stories, your own stories, your clients' stories. Talk about what you've overcome, inspire others, and most importantly, let people feel you, feel your energy. This is what creates connection, and connection creates trust. And trust is what leads to a client traction. It leads to client attraction without selling. So magnetic messaging isn't about perfection. It's about being in resonance, resonating with your ideal client. So can you think of a time when someone's message just landed with you and you were just drawn to them? When they speak, you're like, oh my God, they get me. Like you just have that attraction to them. If you can think of someone, if someone comes to mind, feel free to drop that in the chat. because that's what the authenticity will do. So when you're grounded in who you are, your words naturally attract the people who need your magic. So let this be your permission slip. You don't need a call to action on every post. You don't have to force content. Just share, serve, connect, and let people experience your energy, your wisdom, and they'll lean in. So visibility blocks aren't just frustrating. They are powerful patterns that prevent you from being truly seen, even when you're ready to put yourself out there. So you know you have something valuable to share. You feel the call to show up and serve, but then something pulls you back. Maybe you're procrastinating, you're avoiding, you're dimming your light without even understanding why. That is not mindset. That's your subconscious and your nervous system trying to keep you safe. So inner healing is essential because these blocks don't just live in your thoughts, they live in your body, they live in your energy. They live in protective patterns that once served you, but now they're keeping you small. You're playing small. So you can try to push through. You can try to white knuckle it, wrestle with your self-sabotaging patterns, and hustle your way forward. But take a moment to lean into those protective patterns that are holding you back. The feelings, the beliefs, imposter syndrome, maybe it's feeling not enough, being stuck in survival mode. Just feel into that protection and just ask yourself, how many years have you been with me? How long have you been carrying these protective patterns? Often, I would say most of the time with my clients, the patterns that come up definitely go back to the first 7 years. Not always. There are definitely um, life altering events that happen later in life that can have an impact. But the way we see ourselves in life and the way our self-image is shaped usually stems back to that. And what most people don't know is that you can choose a faster, easier, more effective way than wrestling with these patterns. Too many people assume this is the way things are. It's just the way I am. It's just the way life is, feeling helpless and powerless to change. But with the right tools to address the nervous system, the subconscious programming, and an understanding of how the mind works, these protective patterns can be released quickly and easily so that you are not constantly managing symptoms. You can be free from these feelings and beliefs that are holding you back. And it's not about effort, it's about releasing. It's releasing the stuff that no longer belongs, that it's no longer in alignment with who you are. As you shift into your authentic self, these old patterns no longer belong with you. So to reclaim your authentic confidence, you have to return to the truth of who you are beneath those layers. Not the version shaped by trauma or outdated beliefs, but the version that's connected, intuitive, whole, and divinely guided. That is the real you. And when you align with that truth, visibility doesn't feel scary anymore. It feels natural. It feels safe. You're not forcing it. You're not faking it. You're just showing up, grounded in your own inner wisdom, held by something greater, and finally ready to be seen. So how would that change your life and the impact you're here to make? What would your business look like in 12 months? And feel free to share that in the chat. What difference would that make for you in your business over the next 12 months? So you are not broken. You never were, but you may have adapted in ways that no longer serve you. So at some point, your nervous system decided that being seen or growing your business or success was a threat. So you learned to stay small, safe, and hidden, even when you were ready for more. That pattern did its job. It protected you then, but now it's outdated and it's holding you back. And that's what we're here to shift because resistance isn't failure, it's an invitation to come home to your truth, your voice, your power. Remember, you are not here to fix yourself. You're here to free yourself. So let that drop in. And let's take the next step to gently release one thing that's been holding you back so that you can show up with more freedom and ease. So this process isn't a one and done. Remember the three levels of visibility. It is a process to move into level three where we absolutely have that freedom. And this healing demonstration is to show you how quick and powerful healing can be when you have the right tools and when you know what to look for. And that's where I come in. It can be hard to heal yourself because we have blind spots. And when it comes to how we see ourselves and our place in the world, I have found that there are 13 different key areas where entrepreneurs hold the resistance. And I'll give you just a glimpse of that after we do the healing session, which is what I want to move into next. So I want you to think of one visibility moment that makes you uncomfortable. So one thing, and it's different for everybody. So think for yourself, what is it that makes you really uncomfortable about showing up and being seen? So whether it's being live on camera, recording videos, standing up on stage, even just telling people you're in business, telling people what you do. So I want you to pick this one thing and then so give me a one in the chat if you've got your thing that feels uncomfortable, that you feel you don't want to do. Okay, perfect. And then I want you to feel into that as a problem for you. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to give it a number. 10 is the worst it can be, the most intense. So when you feel it, how intense is this right now in this moment as a problem for you in your life on a scale of, I actually like to use 0 to 10 because 0 is neutral, doesn't exist. 10 is the most intense it can be. And again, if you want, go ahead and put that number in the chat, what you're starting with. Okay, great. Good deal. So I'm going to take you through a process. This is the process that I teach and train people on, but I love this because it's called silent counseling. We don't have to talk about the problem. We're simply going to release the energy from our body. And so I'm going to tune in to the group energy of whether you're here in person or you're watching the replay. And we're going to release it for you. Okay, so part of before I even begin working with people is making sure that we're in polarity, which is what we did when we did that collarbone breathing in the beginning. So that is one thing. If somebody's in fight or flight, I'm just going to give you this little side note. If someone's in fight or flight and you're trying to work with them and do your magic with them, and that's a state of psychological reversal. If they're in fight or flight, which means they're not going to be as receptive to the work that you're doing. So that is one thing we want to make sure that people's energy is open and receptive to the work that you're doing, no matter what kind of work that is. And so I've got the energy is definitely in polarity. And we're going to go to the root cause of that issue. Everybody's got their own issue in mind, their specific issue. Okay. And so the first place I'm going to take you is to the outside of the eyes. And this is where we hold frustration, resentment, bitterness, and rage. So as you think about your issue, everybody's thinking about their own issue. You're holding your fingers just to the outside of the eyes. And I want you to breathe in through your nose, and you're welcoming the feeling of frustration, resentment, bitterness, or rage, any of those feelings to come into your awareness. You're going to connect with it, and then you're going to exhale out through your mouth to release it. So focus on your visibility problem, breathing in, honoring any frustration, resentment, bitterness, or rage. Connect with it, and then use your breath as you exhale. So as you continue to focus on what you're feeling and your breath, I'm just going to just briefly explain that what we're doing is connecting an emotional release point with the breath, and the breath is tied to your nervous system. So these emotions were stuck in your body. And this is a simple process of bringing it into your conscious awareness and releasing it. You're freeing yourself from it. So whatever you're feeling, I want you to welcome that and be grateful that it's coming into your awareness. You're actually honoring the feeling, and then you're going to honor it and let it go. And we're releasing it at the root cause that it was introduced into your system. So it's a little bit different time frame for everyone. What's activating it is you thinking about the visibility, but the root cause is from the past. Not for everyone. I'm muscle testing. Some of it's the fear of the future. Yeah. So it's okay. Just focus in. And then you're going to feel a shift. The intensity of those feelings is going to just kind of, the best way I can just explain it is a shift. So we're always breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the next point, and we're going to come underneath the eyes. So right underneath at the edge of on the bone, just nice and gently pressing here. This is where we store anxiety, worry, and fear. So again, focus on this visibility problem. And now as you breathe in, you're connecting to any anxiety, worry, or fear. Bring that into your awareness, connect with it, and then release it as you exhale out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose, welcoming any fear, anxiety, or worry. Honor it and let it go. Honor it, let it come. Honor it and let it go. Good. Breathe into it. Let it come and let it go. Fear, worry, anxiety. Okay. So usually when we're live or with a group, we're engaging, because what I like about this method is I'm guiding the client through their own healing. So they usually can tell me when they feel that little shift. Okay. Let's see. So we're gonna go to the chin first, next. The chin is where we hold shame or vulnerability, but this is also lack of self-esteem, lack of self-confidence, self-love, self-respect. So this is the lack we feel like inside of us, also shame and vulnerability. So now as you focus in on that visibility problem, breathe in. Connecting to any shame, vulnerability, lack of self-esteem, confidence, self-love, or self-respect. Just honor whatever you're feeling, connect with it, use the breath, and let it go. Honor it and let it come. Just focus on that visibility problem. I call it a problem just so we can label it for right now. Breathe in, connecting to whatever you're feeling, honor it, and let it go. Very much using the breath to move this energy. Welcome it, honor it, and let it go. Some spots might feel like they have more energy, less energy. Some things move quicker. That's normal. Just notice what you feel, honor it, and let it go. Perfect. All right. We're going to move on to the body. So the collarbone is the fight or flight energy. And that's, if you remember, where we did the collarbone breathing and we were working with the fight or flight energy and the nervous system directly to calm it down. And now we're going to release from it. So just hold your fingertips, index finger and middle finger of each hand right to the inside edge of the collarbone. And this is where we hold isolation. This is lack of comfort, lack of security. This is primal fear. But this is that nervous system response. It could be fight or flight, it could be freeze, and it could be fawn. So whatever you're feeling is just going to be perfect for what you need to release. Focus on the visibility problem that you're working through. Breathing in, connecting to any primal fear, isolation, lack of comfort, lack of security, nervous system response. Honor that. And then use your breath. Exhale out through the mouth. And you're going to release that energy. Breathe in, let it come. Breathe out, let it go. Honoring whatever you're feeling here. Good. Honor it, let it come. Honor it and let it go. Perfect. And when you feel that shift, we're going to move on to the next spot. Okay, we're going to go underneath, so the left arm. So lift your left arm up. You're going to bring your right hand, index finger and the middle finger to the left armpit. Slide down about 4 inches, usually where the bra strap would be. And you're going to look for a sore spot. This is the spleen meridian, a little tender spot. And you might even like move your fingers towards the back a half inch or so. I don't know in centimeters what that would be, but if you found the little tender spot, then you're on the right spot. So this is where we hold lack of direction, lack of motivation, lack of strength, and lack of courage. So that's somehow been suppressed. But I will tell you, if we have been living inauthentically, that's a definite lack of direction. So this is to bring you more back into this authentic alignment, authentic direction, authentic motivation, that courage and strength. So that's what we're gonna be releasing the lack of here. So whatever is preventing that natural alignment. So breathing in, connecting to any lack of direction, lack of motivation, lack of courage, lack of strength. Honor it and let it go. So breathing in, perfect. In through the nose, you're welcoming the energy to come up, inviting it into your awareness, connecting with it, and use your breath then to exhale and release it, let it go. Good. Inhaling, connecting to any lack of courage, direction, motivation, lack of strength. Honor it and let it go. Okay. Good, good. Just breathe in, let it come. Breathe out, let it go. And feel that's shifted. And we'll move on to the next. So we've worked through the head. There are more points on the head, and there's one more point on the body. But I'm muscle testing for the group, and we don't need to release from those other points. And then there's points on the hand. So that's where we're moving next. So these are working with the meridians. If you're familiar with the meridians, the chakras are like vortexes of energy. The meridians are highways of energy. And the meridians are really closely related, kind of go hand in hand with the nervous system. So it's kind of interchangeable when I say nervous system or the meridian. Okay, so back to the visibility problem that you're working through. So muscle testing for the group. Okay, we're going to come to the middle finger. So when it comes to the fingers, just hold your left hand up at eye level. I'm just turning so you can kind of see what it would look like. And then we're going to go to the middle finger. So using your right hand, index finger and the middle finger, just bring it gently to the edge, overlapping the edge of the nail bed and the side of the finger. That's where this meridian ends. So this is our emotional release point. This is where we hold helpless, powerless, why me energy. This also is comparison, jealousy, envy. So this is a really good one. This is powerful to release. So I want you to think about your visibility pattern that you're working on, that issue. And here, as you hold your middle finger, breathing in, honoring any helpless, powerless, victim, energy, why me, comparison, jealousy, or envy. Any of those types of emotions can be held here. So just breathing in, honoring whatever you're feeling, whatever's coming into your awareness, connect with it, use your breath, and let it go. Honor it, let it come. Honor it and let it go. So honoring any helpless, powerless, why me, jealousy, envy. This is being a victim of circumstance energy right here. Stuff's happening to me and I can't do anything about it. That's the energy we're tapping into. Let it come and let it go. Perfect. Good. We're going to move on. So the next one we're going to go to is the thumb. So if you're holding your hand up, the edge of the thumb that's closest to you, your palm is facing down. Just come to this edge of the thumb. Again, you're just overlapping the nail bed. This is where we hold grief and loss. And loss can be a loss of yourself. Grief can be being sad about not being accepted as you are. So it doesn't mean that you necessarily lost a another person. It's grief and loss, maybe for losing yourself. So whatever you're feeling there, just honor it and let it come. So tapping into this energy, focus on that visibility problem, and then breathe in, connecting to any grief or loss. Honor it, let it come. Honor it and let it go. Honor it, let it come. Honoring any grief or loss, deep sadness. Acknowledge it, connect with it, and then use your breath to let it go. So we're processing the emotion that's been stored in the meridian in your body. Let it come and let it go. And in the process of releasing this, and maybe you've already experienced it, some very profound emotions can come, like tears can come, and tears are a good thing. That is your brain detoxifying. So whatever you're feeling, I encourage you to let that come to the surface so that you can connect with it and release it from your body. Good. Good. Honoring whatever you're feeling, let it come, let it go. These heavy and dense emotions are what cover that true and authentic self. So again, we're reclaiming more of your power, more of your authentic confidence in this process. So let's move. We got one more spot we're going to address today. It's the side of the hand. So you can just use your two fingers, just pressing on the side of the hand. And this is where we hold the negative thoughts and the emotions that are connected to this pattern. So this visibility issue, this is the looping thoughts, the beliefs, the pattern, the emotions. We're going to release all of this. And this can also be any resistance to change. We're going to let that go. So again, focusing on your visibility problem that you chose to work on today, breathing in, connecting with any negative thoughts, beliefs, emotions, the pattern, and any resistance to change, honor it and then let it go. So breathing into connecting, and it could simply be connecting with the energy of those thoughts and emotions. Don't overthink it, just feel the energy, connect to it, and then release it on the exhale. Breathe in, let it come. Breathe out, let it go. Good. Honoring whatever you're feeling here. Let it come and let it go. When you feel that energy shift, we'll seal in the work. Okay. So, actually, before we seal in the work, just take a moment now and to visualize that scene, whatever you chose for your visibility that was triggering your response. Go back to the same image. And now, as you look at that on a scale of 0 to 10, where 10 is the worst it can be and 0 is it's neutral, what number is it now? What's the intensity? Make a note for yourself if you want to share that in the chat. That would be awesome. I always love to get the feedback. Perfect. So it's dropping down. Wonderful. So we're going to do one more thing. I'm going to show you how to tap in internal change and external change. So we're going to take an affirmation, and I'm just tuning into which one I want to do right now. Okay. We're going to use it is safe to shine. So it means to show up and shine and express yourself. So as you say that out loud 3 times, we're going to use these 2 fingers. We're going to tap underneath the nose. So when we tap underneath the nose, this is where we create internal change, which is how you feel about yourself. So we're actually stimulating this belief in our nervous system internally. So it's taking an affirmation and just we're embedding it into our being. So say it out loud. It is safe for me to shine. 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 And if you're tuned in, you might actually be able to feel that energy being stimulated inside when you do that. It is safe for me to shine. It is safe for me to shine. Now we're going to tap that same affirmation on the outside of the hand, and this is where we create external change. So external change is how we show up. It is safe for me to shine. 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 Also for you, you can use that in your native language. You can say it in your native language and tap it in if you're bilingual and you're here. So I'm just letting you know that you can tap it in multiple languages. You can also use your visualization and see yourself showing up. Actually, let's do that. So the same image that you had that we worked on, I want you to see that. And now I want you to visualize yourself shining and feeling safe and showing up and connecting. And you're not even saying anything, but you're tapping underneath your nose and you're just feeling safe, feeling excited, feeling authentic, shining and showing up with that image. And then go to the side of the hand and visualize the same image. And now we're having that same feeling about being safe, being excited, showing up to make a difference, being authentic, shining, feeling great, connecting with people. Perfect. So that's, you got a little bit more of the silent counseling. Like it's just a beautiful, we don't even have to talk about what needs to be released. So just check in one more time with your after number. When you visualize that scene again on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 is the worst it can be, the most intense. The resistance is, now in terms of resistance, what number is that? 0 is it doesn't exist. And if you want to share that, that would be awesome. Perfect. It's even dropping lower. So that's what I really wanted to share with you today is how powerful the energies and the emotions inside of our body, generally from the past, but not always, it can be created by fear of the future. Either way, this is a very beautiful technique that we can use to change how we feel. And as entrepreneurs, we're constantly expanding our comfort zone. And when we expand our comfort zone, we trigger the inner resistance. And that's what inner healing does. It helps your body to feel safe being seen again. So I want to share just a little bit more, and I'm getting close to, we'll be wrapping it up here in just a moment. But I do want to show you what I work with my clients. I have a 90-day intensive program for entrepreneurs to help them with this inner resistance. And authentic visibility is just kind of the tip of the iceberg. It's just the beginning. And as we talked about levels, so level one, level two, level three of authentic visibility, it's very similar when it comes to your success. So I work with clients around their self-image, creating a big vision for themselves in their business, becoming the container for this big vision, and then we clear out the inner resistance so that it makes it easy to, because you've become the person that's already done that. So then it just naturally manifests. And the key to this is coming into alignment with who you truly are and clearing out the resistance at the same time. So I just wanted to share these different areas, these kind of 13 different key areas I've learned over the past decade of working with entrepreneurs that are holding them back and even stopping them in their tracks. And sometimes people are on the right track, doing really, really well, and then they hit a certain level of a success, and that's when the triggers can come up and block them. So to me, this is a much easier way. Let's clear the space out. Let's come into alignment with your big vision. And it makes the journey faster, lighter, and more easeful. Because the more of these layers you can gently heal and release, the more clarity, flow, and momentum you'll experience in every part of your business and your life. So don't get discouraged if more resistance comes up after today, because it will. It's part of the process. And that's what I want to show to you today, that there are tools to help you through the process. And this is just one layer, but this has already created meaningful change. So just now imagine the confidence and the alignment you would feel after 90 days of working through all three of these areas. So I have an invitation. I would love to take our conversation to a one-on-one basis and go deeper with you personally to find out what it is that you would like to create, where you are, where you want to go, what's holding you back, and helping you make a plan to achieve that and not spend years struggling or feeling stuck. So I've shared the link in the comments. There's the link on the screen. So if you're watching the replay, you certainly can hit pause and grab that link. But if this stirred something in you today, even if it was just a flicker of clarity, calm, or a deeper knowing, it's not random. That's your inner wisdom speaking. So you've just scratched the surface here today, and the real transformation begins when you allow yourself to go deeper. And that is my invitation to you. So if you'd like to go deeper and explore your specific, unique situation, um, again, go ahead and click on that link and schedule. This is a complimentary call where I can really find out what you're looking for, and we can take this next step together. So I want to just kind of recap from today that resistance isn't a flaw, that it's just simply an old protective pattern. Remember the three-step client attraction formula, which is number one is really connecting with your authentic self, your higher self, the universe, and in that connection, in your truth, you'll have everything you need, your authentic confidence. Explore your unique signature strengths, and that'll help you find out exactly why you're here and how you're meant to serve. And then step number three, that magnetic messaging, it's your energy, it's you. Focus on steps one and two. And one is what takes the most work. Two and three happen a little easier once you've done step number one. But that's when your life will become magical. So remember, it's not about fixing yourself. It's about freeing yourself to show up as the real and authentic you. And I'm going to stop the recording. I'll take some time to answer some questions, whether it's about what we've covered or any specific questions for you. And if you're watching on the replay, if you have questions, just hit reply to that email, and I am more than happy to answer any of your questions. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for being open, for being brave. You are already enough, and your presence is more powerful than you know. So I hope to see you soon. Be bold and be you.